This video is sponsored by Logitech, and I wish it wasn't. Why? Because this is not a review. I don't do sponsored reviews because I don't want to be biased. And right now I am, not because I'm sponsored, but because Logitech just made my dream streaming camera. Hear me out. For starters, we have a Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is exactly the same sensor as my Panasonic GH5 that I use for my YouTube videos and for wedding filmmaking. 2, we have wireless connectivity, built-in Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth, and that allows me to connect to the streaming app that runs on my, wait for number 3? Well, 3, the app runs on my phone or tablet, allowing me to go live anywhere, anytime, as long as I have access to internet connection. Again, the application that we are using here, it's called Mevo Multicam App, plus no wires needed. Everything can be actually wireless. Did I mention HDMI out, built-in NDI and SRT, up to 6 hours of battery life, 4K 30 frames per second recording, stream up to 1080p 30 frames per second to any platform of your choice, including custom RTMP. And if you have multiple cameras, you can use the Mevo Multicam application to switch, stream, and control a multi-camera production to any platform of your choice. So the D camera, it's called Mevo Core. And since I have 2 cameras from Logitech, we're gonna go ahead and actually see them in action. What's up guys, my name is Sam. You're watching live production tips and tools helping you master live streaming. So before we get into actually checking out the camera, going live streaming with it, just want to show you what you get in the box. First of all, when you receive it, as you can see, you're gonna get this USB cable, which is a super high quality actually cable that you can use to charge the camera, and obviously you can use it to connect the camera to the computer. In fact, I have the camera right now. The main camera that the image you're watching is the camera connected to the computer directly, and I'm using the same USB cable. Of course, you're gonna get the actual camera itself and some documentation. That's pretty much it. It's super straightforward. Now, as you can see, this is what the camera is gonna look like. I actually have connected to a different lens, in fact, this is my actual lens that I use usually on my Panasonic GH5, this camera right here. All right, this is the camera that I use usually for my YouTube videos and everything. However, because they share the same lens mount, I can actually use any lens that I want. Now, Logitech did actually send me 2 lenses. One of the lenses is gonna be this 14 to 42 mm lens. This is from Olympus, and it has a maximum aperture of 3.5. And the secret here, this is a power zoom lens. Why it has to be a power zoom lens? Because you can use the Mevo Multicam app to be able to control the zoom of your lens. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Next, they did send me also the 45 to 175 mm lens from Lumix. This is another lens that I got. As you can see, it's a power zoom as well, so this is gonna allow you to also be controlled by the Mevo Multicam application, and again, you're gonna see that in action. Now, if you wanted to use any other Micro Four Thirds, of course you can use it. It doesn't have to be power zoom. Like right now, I'm using a 16 mm f1.4 lens, all right, which is a great lens from Sigma. However, it does not have power zoom. In fact, it's actually a prime lens, so I cannot control the zoom inside the application, but I can control things like the aperture and other stuff. Again, I'm gonna show you that in a minute, but that's the beauty of actually having a Micro Four Thirds or / interchangeable lens mount, because you have endless of choices when it comes to lenses. So now, before I show the application, let's actually go ahead and actually take a closer look at the camera. So this is what the camera looks like. As you can see, it's really small. It's not very big. As you can see, I can contain it in my hands, which is super awesome. The material is 100% metal. Is really high quality metal. When you hold it in your hands, it's not super heavy, but when you hold it, you feel like if I was to drop it or something, I mean, like, I don't want you to drop it, but I feel like nothing will happen to it. But other than that, you have different mounting points on all the sides. On the top, you have a mounting point where you can actually attach something like a microphone, and underneath, same thing, you can actually mount a light stand, you can mount a tripod or anything. On the sides, same thing, you still have another mounting point, and on the other side, same thing, you have another mounting point, which is awesome. Okay, on the front, of course, it's gonna be your sensor and it's gonna be your Micro Four Third mount where you can actually attach any lens. And on the back of the camera, as you can see, we have some interesting things in here, and I'm gonna show you. The first thing on the top, we have the on and off button, and on the back here we have the Logitech logo, and we have two USB Type-C ports. The first one is actually for charging the camera, and the second one is for connecting the camera to the computer. Again, if you want to use the camera as a webcam, it's 100% possible. In fact, that's how I'm actually doing it through OBS. That's how I'm actually recording this video through OBS. And by the way, I'm able to record in 4K. Yes, you can record in 4K 30 frames per second through OBS or any other recording application through the USB Type-C cable. Next, in the middle, we have the 3.5mm jack. You can use this actually to import something like audio. So if you want to connect something like, you know, right now I have like an interface, the Rodecaster Duo, I can actually use a 3.5mm jack to connect the audio, to send the audio into the camera. But you can also use it to connect any other microphone or any other input with 3.5mm jack. Other than that, if you open here, another thing you're gonna see two interesting ports here. The first one is gonna be your HDMI output. This is what you can actually use if you want to send the signal to a switcher, something like the ATEM Mini Pro or any other, let's say a monitor. So if you, let's say you want to use the camera because it doesn't have any LCD screen, so if you want to use the camera and actually be able to monitor the image directly into a monitor, you can actually use the HDMI port and mount your monitor either on the side of the camera or on the top of the camera. And the other port is actually a SSD card, a micro SSD card, so you can actually record directly to a micro SSD card and be able to record some good content. Now, the camera doesn't have any other button apart from the on and off button, so to be able to control it and do most of the stuff, you're gonna actually have to rely on the application. And of course, that takes me to the next section, which is we're gonna take the camera, connect it to our iPhone. Right now I'm using an iPhone, but again, you can use an Android tablet or phone, and you can still use something like an iPad because the Mevo Multicam application is available for both systems. So let's go ahead and connect the Mevo Multicam application and actually be able to go live to YouTube directly from the camera. So let's go. Okay, so guys, the first thing that we're gonna do, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and connect this lens that I got from Logitech, and this is the 45 to 175. Just for demoing purposes, I already have the other lens connected to the main camera that you're watching right now. So as you can see, super easy. The lens is connected. The camera is not on yet. Okay, before we turn it on, we're gonna go ahead, actually go to my phone and going to launch the Mevo Multicam app, which is right here. So right now I have the application on, again, because I did some testing and everything. So I'm gonna have to delete all the cameras just to show you the whole process, how to actually add a camera. So the first time you actually open the application is gonna look like this. So it's gonna start searching, looking for any Mevo Core camera that may be available. And right now we have the first camera, which is turned on, that I'm using to record this video. So that one, we're not gonna be using it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this one, the second one, right? Just press this button here, the on button on the top, for about 3-4 seconds. And right now it's kind of blinking. You can see the tally lights are actually blinking. We have two tally lights, by the way. If I didn't show you, we have one here on the top and another one on the bottom. And as you can see on the application, is actually showing already. All right, so as you can see, they have different names, but this one is called the Mevo FN388. So once it shows up, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and actually click setup. Now when you get here, you have two options. You have the first options to either use Wi-Fi to be able to connect it to your phone or to the application. The second option is to use your cellular network, and in that case you'll be using the camera's Wi-Fi to actually connect to the application. So I'm gonna go ahead and click yes, I have a Wi-Fi. and we're gonna go ahead and click next. You're gonna get a list of networks that you have available. You just want to make sure your phone or your tablet is connected to the same network as where you're going to connect your camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually click choose one of my networks. So as you can see, the camera is connected, and I have the other camera already connected to the same network I just connected earlier, and I have both cameras connected. All you need to do is you need to hit connect, and it's gonna the camera is going to actually open the app. Again, we can go to the other camera again and hit connect, and then hit continue, and we should be able to see both cameras in the application. So as you can see, once we are inside the Mevo Multicam application, we have two main options. The first option is to control the camera. The second option, of course, is to be able to use the Mevo Multicam application to go live and switch angles and stuff like that. So as you can see, I can just tap to either angle, and it's actually going to switch. So for the camera, let's go to my main camera right now, and as you click to these three dots, you have what's called image control. This is where you can actually control the camera. You have access to the entire camera. So as you can see, you have the focus, and to be able to focus, you can use this little slider here to be able to manually focus, or you can actually tap to anything in the frame. So in fact, if I tap to my face right now, just double tap, it's going to focus on my face. So as you can see, my face right now is in focus. So another thing you can do, let's say if you tap once, it's going to do a crop or kind of zoom in kind of frame, and you can use this if you want to access, like do a multi-angle from one frame, that kind of stuff. But other than that, you can just tap to this little arrow thing, double arrow thing, and you're gonna go back to the full frame. All right. So another thing, you have advanced focus. You can use focus speaking. You can control your lens aperture. You can zoom in and out, especially if you have a power zoom. Again, for this to work, you need to have a power zoom. As you can see, I can actually go ahead and zoom in, no problem. And I can go ahead and zoom out. You can control your exposure, but again, personally, I think the auto exposure is perfect. You don't have to mess up with manual exposure. You have some advanced exposure as well that you can play with. You have white balance. You have different presets for white balance, but if you are in a place where you can control the lighting, you can actually go ahead and dial in your own white balance. As you can see, mine is actually at 5600 Kelvin, because that's what my key light has. And then we have the brightness, you have the contrast, saturation, and you have different presets. Right now I'm using the custom one that I made myself, but as you can see, you have different presets that you can actually play with, and it's gonna change depending on where you are. So right now I can go back to custom, because again, that's the one that I made for myself. You have advanced, where you can enable HDR. You have EIS, which is electronic stabilization, if you wanna maybe vlog with the camera, or if you wanna be moving, going around with the camera, like handheld. You have the camera settings that we could access earlier, but here you can still access the camera settings as well. You have the camera name, you can name the camera, you can format your SD card, you can add the password, you can access the NDI, enable the NDI mode, and then you have different NDI settings as well available. You have the only button on the camera, which is the Mevo button, that's what it's called. And when you actually tap to it once, as you can see, you have two actions. You can either record to SD card. Mine have actually set to record to SD card, or you have no action, so nothing happens, or you have another option to actually stream to the last destination where you're actually streaming at. So if you wanted to go live directly from the camera, let's say you are doing a mobile stream, you can actually tap to the camera, and actually it's gonna send the feed to the last destination where you were actually streaming at. So right now I want mine set to record to SD card, so that I can actually record whenever I want by hitting that button. And other than that, you have other few settings here that you can actually go through, and that's pretty much it. So when it comes to recording, you can actually hit the record button, and as you can see, we have the save the program recording to this device. So basically the application is going to record to my phone. All right, you can record up to 1080, and at the same time, if you want to record what we usually call ISO recording or internal recordings to the camera, remember, while you're recording on your phone, it's getting to your phone wirelessly. All right, again, you're gonna see the quality. Actually, I've seen it, it looks really good. But if you want to record internally on SD cards, in case something happens, you want or you want to record in 4K because you are limited to 1080p if you record inside your phone. And remember, on your phone, you're recording the program out. So you're recording if you have graphics, overlays, or when you switch angles, it's gonna record all the cuts. But if you want to record separate angles on each camera internally, that's why you can actually toggle this little thing here. Right now, I have one camera with an SD card, and as you can see, it's actually this one. And I can choose the quality. You can go up to 4K, or if you want to do 1080p, you can do 1080p as well. But mine, I have it set to 4K. And in fact, I'm gonna hit start recording so you guys can see what 4K actually looks like, because what you're watching right now is a 1080p feed that was actually upscaled to 4K because my entire video is actually in 4K. As you can see, that's pretty much it. Again, to be able to show you guys different cuts, I can cut to my camera number 2, or cut to this camera here, which is my main camera. Cut. You can also go to graphics, no problem. I have this one that I made. I can choose to use it or take it off. You have audio here, so you can choose which camera's audio you wanna use. As you can see, I have both cameras available right now, and I can choose which one I want. As you can see, when you hit this plus button, you have an option to add more cameras, you have an option to add graphics, you have option to do picture in picture, you have option to add some audio sources, including your phone's audio. And if you are you have the Mevo Pro, you're gonna have some extra features as well. As you can see, you can live stream to Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, X, Twitch, Sideline, HD, and custom RTMP. If you have Mevo Pro, you can even multi-stream to multiple platforms at the same time. But another thing that I've found, if you want to live stream to YouTube, the best way is to actually schedule your live stream ahead of time. So what you would do, you go to a computer, sign into your YouTube account, and then go to the plus button with the camera icon and hit go live, and then make sure you hit the schedule a live stream. So schedule a live stream, add the title, description, add the thumbnail, and make sure it's actually optimized, and then schedule it. Once you have it scheduled, you're gonna come back into the Mevo Multicam application, and you're gonna be able to see the event that you have created in YouTube as a destination. All you gotta do is you just gotta go ahead and actually select that event, and then hit the go live button, and you're gonna be able to go live. And as you can see, I'm able to get the feed from the Mevo Multicam application. I can even test it to see just by copying the link, and be able to see it live on YouTube, and it works perfectly, no problem. What is going on, guys? This is another quick recording, checking out the Mevo Core, and we are recording in full HD 1080p with the highest quality, actually recording on my phone. And this is what the image looks like, and this is what the audio sounds like. All right, what is going on, guys? So I'm testing the Mevo Core right now, and I'm testing the built-in microphone. This is a real recording, and I'm holding it in my hand. Yeah, right now I should be focused on my face. So this is what it looks like. I'm using the 14 to 42 mm lens. This is the Olympus, and this is what it looks like. I believe I'm at 14 mm. So with all this, guys, out of the way, I just want to say I am blown away. I just feel like the live streaming technology is getting better and better. I just can't believe being able to have these kind of two cameras anywhere. Maybe you're doing streaming sports, you're streaming a wedding, anywhere where you can actually have access to two cameras, be able to stream wirelessly. You don't need HDMI cables, you don't need SDI cables, all that kind of stuff. You just have two cameras wirelessly. You don't even need an HDMI transmitter. All right, All you need is just your phone, the Mevo Multicam application, and then 2 or 3 Mevo Core cameras. You got interchangeable lenses. You can use any micro four lens that you want, which is awesome. You got a bigger sensor, which is great for low light situations, and actually be able to go live using your cellular network or Wi-Fi. So I believe this is a game changer, and this is just the beginning. And if you are curious, the Mevo Core is available right now at $999 from B&H, Amazon US and Canada, and of course at mevo.com. And I'll leave some links down below if you want to check them out. But other than that, if you are an OBS user, in my next video I'm gonna show you how to set up the Mevo Core in OBS, including SRT, and getting the best settings for either live streaming or recording. And as soon as the video is done, it's gonna be linked right here, and I'll see you there, guys. Take care.